Shalom, I am Rabbi Ezra. The difference between those who build generational wealth and those who struggle their entire lives is often decided in the first 60 minutes of the day. Most people wake up in a state of reaction. They are immediately pulled into the demands of the world, checking their phones, reading the news, and rushing to meet the expectations of others. They surrender their most potent hour to external forces. But in the ancient Jewish tradition, the morning is not a time for reaction, it is a time for creation. The morning is when the spiritual frequency of your entire day is established. The Talmud and the great Kabbalists teach that if you master your morning, you master your destiny. Today I am going to reveal the specific morning habit that separates the wealthy from everyone else. This is not a modern productivity hack. This is an ancient information-driven protocol rooted in thousands of years of Torah wisdom, designed to align your mind with the frequency of abundance. To understand the power of the morning, we must examine the teachings of King David. In Psalm 5 verse 4, King David writes, "Hear my voice, O Lord, at daybreak. At daybreak I plead before you and wait." King David was a monarch with immense wealth and power, yet he understood that his success was entirely dependent on how he utilized the early hours of the day. The Talmud in Tractate Barachot 5a expands on this, teaching that a person should always incite their good inclination against their evil inclination, and the optimal time for this spiritual battle is in the morning. The morning represents a daily resurrection. When you wake up, your soul is returned to your body, offering you a blank slate. The Vilna Gaon, a towering figure in Jewish scholarship, taught that the first thought of the morning programs the entire day. If your first thought is rooted in anxiety or scarcity, your day will reflect that energy. If your first thought is rooted in gratitude and intention, your day will attract abundance. And for those who are truly serious about accelerating their journey, for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system. It is the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. The doors are closing soon, so check the link in the comments. The core habit that separates the wealthy is the practice of intentional gratitude before any worldly engagement. In the Jewish tradition, the very first words spoken upon waking are the Modeh Ani prayer. I gratefully thank you, living and eternal King, for you have returned my soul to me with compassion. This is a profound psychological and spiritual anchor. Before a Jewish person looks at their phone, speaks to another human being, or even gets out of bed, they declare gratitude for the simple fact of existence. This practice immediately shifts the brain from a state of lack to a state of abundance. Scientific research on neuroplasticity confirms what the ancient sages knew. Expressing gratitude activates the brain's reward center, releasing dopamine and serotonin. This neurochemical shift reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and enhances cognitive function. When you start your day with a clear, calm, and grateful mind, you are biologically and spiritually primed to make superior financial decisions. You are no longer operating from a place of desperation. You are operating from a place of power. Furthermore, the wealthy understand the concept of kaviyut, which translates to consistency or permanence. The Talmud emphasizes that spiritual and material power is built through unwavering consistency. The morning prayers and the Modeh Ani are not recited only when one feels inspired. They are recited every single day, without exception. This consistency builds a spiritual muscle. It demonstrates to the universe that you are serious about your growth and your capacity to handle wealth. When you commit to a morning habit of gratitude and intention, regardless of your emotional state or external circumstances, you create a permanent channel for divine energy. You prove that you are a reliable vessel for blessing. The wealthy do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline and consistency. They understand that the daily repetition of a positive habit compounds over time, creating an unstoppable momentum that inevitably leads to financial success. The second crucial element of this morning habit is the study of wisdom before engaging in commerce. Maimonides, in his monumental work, the Mishneh Torah, codifies the law that a person must set aside time for Torah study every morning before beginning their daily work. This is not merely a religious obligation, it is a strategic imperative. Studying divine wisdom before entering the marketplace sets the spiritual intention for the day. It reminds you of your higher purpose and aligns your actions with eternal values. When you start working without first grounding yourself in wisdom, you are easily swayed by the chaotic currents of the business world. You become reactive to market fluctuations, demanding clients, and urgent emails. But when you anchor your mind in timeless principles, you navigate the business world with clarity and unshakable confidence. You become the captain of your ship, rather than a passenger tossed by the waves. This principle is supported by modern studies on the habits of highly successful individuals. Research consistently shows that the most effective CEOs and entrepreneurs dedicate the first part of their day to reading, learning, and strategic thinking. Long before they check their inbox or attend a meeting, they understand that their mind is their most valuable asset, and they refuse to pollute it with the noise of the world before they have fortified it with wisdom. In the Jewish tradition, this fortification comes from the Torah, the ultimate source of divine intelligence. By studying Torah in the morning, you are downloading the operating system of the universe into your mind. You are equipping yourself with the ethical framework and the strategic insight necessary to build wealth that is both substantial and sustainable. You are ensuring that your pursuit of money is always guided by a higher moral purpose. The third component of the wealthy morning habit is the practice of histadlut, which means human effort or endeavor. While the morning begins with gratitude and the study of wisdom, it must transition into focused, intentional action. The Jewish perspective on wealth is not passive, it requires active participation in the material world. The Talmud in Tractate Betzah 16a teaches that a person's income is determined on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. However, this predetermined income is not delivered magically, it must be earned through histadlut. The morning habit involves setting clear, actionable goals for the day that align with your broader financial vision. It is the process of building the physical vessels that will hold the spiritual blessings you have invoked through your prayers and study. The wealthy do not just hope for success, they meticulously plan for it in the quiet hours of the morning. This concept of hishtadlut is deeply intertwined with the idea of character refinement. The great Kabbalist Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, known as the Ramchal, explains in his work Derech Hashem that the primary purpose of human existence is the perfection of the soul. The challenges we face in our daily work, the difficult clients, the market downturns, the complex negotiations are not merely obstacles to making money. They are the precise spiritual weights we must lift to build our character. When you plan your histadlut in the morning, you are not just planning how to make a profit, you are planning how you will respond to the inevitable friction of the marketplace with integrity, patience, and resilience. The wealthy understand that their business is a laboratory for their soul. By setting the intention to act with absolute ethics and unwavering focus, they ensure that their daily effort not only generates income, but also elevates their spiritual standing. Furthermore, the morning is the time to identify and eliminate the specific behaviors that block wealth. The Talmud warns extensively against the destructive power of anger, describing it as a force that shatters the spiritual vessels necessary to hold blessing. If you start your day by rushing, yelling at your family, or getting frustrated in traffic, you are actively repelling the abundance that was destined for you. The morning habit of silence and study acts as a protective shield against this reactivity. It builds a reservoir of calm that you can draw upon when the pressures of the day mount. The wealthy guard their morning peace fiercely because they know that a calm mind is a profitable mind. They recognize that emotional regulation is a financial skill, and the morning is when that skill is honed and perfected. Let me illustrate this with a brief example. Consider a man who runs a highly successful logistics company. His industry is defined by chaos, delays, and constant emergencies, yet he is known for his unshakable calm and his ability to make precise, profitable decisions under immense pressure. His secret is not a superior software system, it is his morning protocol. For the first 90 minutes of his day, he is completely unreachable. He engages in deep prayer, studies a complex text of Jewish law, and maps out his strategic priorities. By the time he steps into his office, he has already won the most important battle of the day, the battle for his own mind. When a crisis inevitably occurs, he does not react with panic. He responds with the clarity he cultivated in the early hours. His morning habit is the invisible foundation of his visible empire. This balance between spiritual reliance and physical effort is the hallmark of the Jewish approach to wealth. You pray as if everything depends on God, and you work as if everything depends on you. The morning habit encapsulates this balance perfectly. You start by acknowledging God as the source of all life and wealth through the Modeh Ani. You then align your mind with His will through the study of Torah. Finally, you map out your hishtadlut, the specific actions you will take that day to manifest your goals. This comprehensive approach ensures that your financial endeavors are spiritually grounded and practically effective. It prevents the arrogance of believing that your success is solely the result of your own brilliance, while also preventing the laziness of expecting God to provide without your active effort. It is a formula for holistic, enduring prosperity. To implement this habit, you must fiercely protect your first hour. You must establish strict boundaries around your morning routine. This means no social media, no news, and no emails until you have completed your spiritual and strategic preparation. The media and the digital world are designed to hijack your attention and trigger your reactive instincts. When you consume negative information or respond to urgent demands in the first hour, you are allowing others to dictate your frequency. You are trading your potential for wealth for a temporary hit of dopamine or a surge of anxiety. The wealthy understand that their attention is their most precious currency, and they refuse to spend it on things that do not build their empire. They guard their morning mind with absolute discipline, knowing that the quality of their input determines the quality of their output. This protection of the morning hour is not just about avoiding distraction, it is about preserving the purity of your intention. In Jewish law, there is a concept called muktzah, which refers to items that are set aside and not handled on the Sabbath because they are associated with mundane labor. While the morning is not the Sabbath, the principle applies. Your first hour should be treated as a sanctuary in time, set aside exclusively for your spiritual and strategic elevation. When you allow the noise of the world to penetrate this sanctuary, you dilute the power of your intention. You scatter the focused energy that is required to manifest significant wealth. By treating your morning routine as sacred and non-negotiable, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive and manage abundance at the highest level. Furthermore, the physical environment in which you perform this morning habit is crucial. The Talmud teaches that a person's surroundings have a profound impact on their spiritual state. You should designate a specific place in your home for your morning routine. It should be a space that is clean, quiet, and free from clutter. This physical order reflects and reinforces the mental order you are trying to cultivate. When you sit in a dedicated space to recite your gratitude, study wisdom, and plan your hishtadlut, you anchor the habit in your physical reality. The space itself becomes charged with the energy of your intention, making it easier to drop into a state of deep focus each day. The wealthy do not leave their environment to chance, they design it to support their highest goals. Let us delve deeper into the mechanics of the hishtadlut planning phase. This is not merely writing a to-do list. It is a strategic alignment of your daily actions with your ultimate financial vision. The Jewish approach to wealth requires that every action be purposeful. When you sit down to plan your day, you must ask yourself which of these tasks will actually move the needle, which actions are merely busy work, and which are true wealth-building activities. The morning is the time to ruthlessly prioritize. You must identify the 1 or 2 critical tasks that require your highest cognitive energy and schedule them for the time when you are most alert. By doing this, you ensure that your hishtadlut is not just effort, but effective effort. You are not just working hard, you are working smart, guided by the clarity you established in the first part of your routine. I urge you to begin this practice tomorrow morning. When you wake up, do not reach for your phone, lie in bed for 1 minute and recite the Modeh Ani, or simply express profound gratitude for the gift of another day. Get up, sit in silence, and read a passage of ancient wisdom. Set your intention for the day and outline the specific actions you will take to advance your financial goals. Do this consistently, day after day, and you will witness a profound transformation in your life. You will notice that your anxiety decreases and your clarity increases. You will find yourself making better decisions, attracting better opportunities, and navigating challenges with unprecedented grace. You will stop reacting to the world and start creating your reality. The morning is your opportunity to align with the frequency of abundance. Do not waste it. But before you go, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking that you do not have the time for a structured morning routine. You have demanding jobs, long commutes, and family responsibilities. You believe that this advice is only practical for those who already have wealth and leisure. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how wealth is created. The truth is, you do not have the time not to do this. If you are constantly rushing and reacting, you are operating inefficiently. You are expending massive amounts of energy without making meaningful progress. The morning habit is not a luxury. It is the very mechanism that will free you from the cycle of endless toil. Even if you must wake up 30 minutes earlier, the sacrifice is essential. The clarity and focus you gain will make you exponentially more productive throughout the day. You will accomplish more in a few hours of intentional work than you ever could in a full day of chaotic reaction. Furthermore, some may argue that they have tried morning routines before without seeing any financial results. They meditated, they journaled, but their bank accounts remained stagnant. This occurs when the routine is treated as a superficial life hack rather than a deep spiritual alignment. The goal of the morning habit is not to manipulate the universe into giving you money. The goal is to transform your character. It is to elevate your frequency so that you become the type of person who naturally attracts and sustains wealth. If you perform the routine but maintain a mindset of scarcity and complaint throughout the day, the routine will be ineffective. The morning sets the trajectory, but you must walk the path. You must carry the peace, intention, and gratitude of the first hour into every negotiation, every decision, and every interaction. The morning habit is the spark. Your consistent daily actions are the fuel. The power of the morning habit lies in its ability to forge a permanent connection between the spiritual and the material. It is the daily practice of bringing divine light into your physical endeavors. When you master your morning, you master your mind. When you master your mind, you master your actions. And when you master your actions, you master your wealth. The ancient sages understood this sequence perfectly, and they codified it in the daily practices of the Jewish people. Now this wisdom is available to you. It requires discipline, consistency, and a willingness to prioritize your spiritual alignment above the demands of the world. But the rewards are immeasurable. Claim your morning, and you will claim your financial destiny. And if you are truly serious about accelerating your journey and applying these principles at the highest level for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system, the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. The doors are closing soon. The link is in the comments. I look forward to seeing you inside and helping you build the wealth you were destined to create.